Well, Secretary of State John Kerry is now floating the idea of President Obama heading to Rome to meet with Pope Francis. That's raising some eyebrows with some of the folks following the story of the Little Sisters of the Poor and how the White House has gone to war with the nuns, not to mention several other religious groups, over the issue of making them offer birth control. Bill Donahue is president of the Catholic League and with me now. Bill, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
And so this all relates to how Catholic and other religiously affiliated hospitals, colleges, charities, and so on, in the president's view, have to offer contraception or basically sign a permission slip for a group affiliated with them to offer contraception. And at the same time, the president's going to have to sit down with Pope Francis. Is that awkward?
Well, it is, particularly for the president. Too bad that the Pope doesn't have one of the Little Sisters of the Poor there in the room with him and ask the president to look her in the eye and say, I don't think you're a Catholic organization. That's what they're saying. Because these elderly nuns tend to elderly women and men of other religions, they've been disqualified as a Catholic organization by the Obama administration. It's absolutely perverse. And it's not just them as well. Look, I hope that they have a nice meeting, but quite frankly, all we've ever asked for is the status quo ante. We don't want special rights when we want to be left alone. I've never seen an administration busier than trying to violate the rights of Catholics, beginning with the first right of conscience, than this administration.
There are 68 million Catholics in the United States. Do you think that this is an attempt by him, if he goes over to meet with the Pope, to somehow, win favor with a group that voted for him in the last presidential election, but that may not be too happy about fights with the Little Sisters?
Right. Well, practicing Catholics actually didn't vote for him, but if you figure that out. But the fact of the matter is, I know he's going to go over there. This is the latest mantra. Everybody on the left says we love the Pope because he's against poverty and inequality. I hope the Pope looks him in the eye and says we have 50 million American people in poverty, 47 million on food stamps. The out-of-wedlock rate for the last 5 years is 41%. Things are getting worse under your tenure. I am absolutely convinced. I've written a great deal about this. I've worked with the poor in Harlem myself when I was a kid in my 20s. And I can tell you this much. The greatest champions of the poor rhetorically are the ones who punish the poor most of all. They stand against vouchers. If you are serious about inequality and poverty, you have to be in favor of vouchers. Give the people in Harlem the same opportunities that he and Michelle have in sending Sasha and Malia. They don't send them to a public school. And if you send them to a Catholic school, not only will you get a good academic education, you might get a moral education. You might be able to tell the boys, keep your fly up, tell the girls to keep their knees together.
Oh, boy.
Instead of learning how to put a condom on a cucumber, what they do in the public schools. That's worked out real well.
Okay, we got to leave it at that. Thank you, Bill. When